Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and I'm not alone, as you can see. Besides me, two expertly lovely people, Xeon and Felix. Hello.
Hello, Alex. I hope you are this way right now. I'll make sure to edit it like that.
And as Xeon slurped in Morse code, we are here because there's a burning question in many of our minds, sort of. It's something that we asked you, lovely lot, in fact, in a bit of a callback to an old series, which I was about to say shall remain nameless, but it won't. It was called Ask Alex. I was reminded of it when I did my 10-year anniversary video. We're kind of doing something a bit like that, but we're not calling it Alex Asks, because it's not just me. Anyway, we asked you, lovely lot, are you going to be trading in your Nintendo Switch, the original, or your OLED, but, you know, with the Switch 2 coming up, you going to trade it in? Are you going to keep it? And if so, why? But we've got a load of your responses here. Why don't we start off with the first one on the list? This comes from Ross YT84 and says, as a teen, I did odd jobs for 6 months until I had enough for my Switch. Then I had to wait another 6 months for any store to finally have one in stock. This was in 2020, if that makes any sense. Lordy does it. So no, I will not be getting rid of my OG Switch. It means too much to me. This is a very common sentiment, I think, and I would have the same sentiment exactly, except I don't have my original Switch anymore because it was kind of bought for work, and then I got a different Switch and they were like, oh, you know, send us your old Switch, and I was like, okay, I'll keep the special edition one.
It's very easy to become sentimental for these kind of like gaming systems, gaming handhelds, when we spend so much time with them, right? And it's so easy to also then like not have money and want to trade it in for the next best thing because it's got all the cooler games on it, and especially with Switch 1, since you can play, or with Switch 2 you'll be able to play most of your games on it. That's what we're going to get into here, is we're going to keep finding more reasons why you should trade it in or why you should hold on to it, but money's a big thing, and I don't blame them for being sentimental either.
Doesn't have to be big, it can be quite small.
Ooh.
Is that a euro?
No, it's a pound coin.
Well, it would be a euro. No. Yeah,
Let's
I
not
think to
talk
me,
about the EU. I'm already upset.
So to me, we've talked about this before recording, but I am in the little camp that might get rid of my original Switch. This is simply because all the consoles I have is to play games. I don't have really, like, I have a PlayStation 5, and then I have a PlayStation 3. I can play all my PlayStation 4 games on my PlayStation 5, so I don't have a PlayStation 4. I also have a PlayStation, the PlayStation 3 can also play PlayStation 2 games, so I don't have a PlayStation 2. But I do have a PlayStation 1. I also have a Switch, I have my Wii, but I don't have a GameCube, because I can play GameCube games on my Wii. So to me, with the Switch, it's like, well, the next Switch will be able to play almost all games. Like, there might be the odd Ring Fit Adventure here, there. But to me, it's like, well, if I can play all those games there, then I have this unused device. I don't know if I'll sell it, or I might give it to someone that I know so they can play a Switch. But it's also the special Splatoon 3 edition. And I also think that just recently, I might not be that sentimental about stuff. I don't know what it is. I used to be very sentimental.
Can I ask you though, what about, you did the cool unboxing with like the stop motion animation. Do you think there's ever going to be a point in time where you look back at the video and you're just like, man, I wish I still had that system. That was so cool. Or like there's a point where you're like, yo, see this system right here? See this video? That's the one. That's the one. And now somebody else is playing it in the world instead.
And that's the thing. When I think about it right now, I would be completely cool with it. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I'll keep it around for like work stuff because we have comparisons and all that sort of shamamble. It'll be good to have. I wouldn't just get rid of it. But who knows in the future? Maybe the Splatoon 3 Switch is worth a lot, and it's just like, yeah, I could use some money. It really depends on what my financial situation is, and I guess it does for everyone. And I can also understand why people would be sentimental. It's just recently I've had to get rid of a lot of my stuff, and I just realized I have too much stuff. I have so much that it's just like, I don't know, it's not that I don't care about it, but I wouldn't, like, it
devalues things when you've got loads of them, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
my view on that, I think this is my view over the whole thing generally, is very similar to that of, I should have checked the username before. It's quite small. X Shadow Blitz. Do you say the X in in game names with
X
in
Shadow
them?
Blitz
We'll say X
811.
Shadow Blitz 117. Keep it. I learned my lesson. If you sell your consoles, you'll end up regretting it eventually. And whilst I've never sold a console, I have sold games, and I do regret it. A lot of DS games that I had when I was growing up, not all of them, but a lot of them, I traded in because I was like, hey, I could give them 4 DS games and get Fable 3.
I played Fable 2. My father thought it'd be a great idea. I did not care.
Oh, Fable 2's good. Fable 3
heard good things
isn't bad, I want to make it clear, but I mean, it's right here. You can see it in the background of my videos. I don't even know why. I got the special edition. It comes with a silly coin that you can flip, and I can't remember. It's like good and
It's
evil.
the one that looks like a book, right?
Yeah.
The book on your shelf?
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I can totally understand with games. I wouldn't want to trade in any of my games because maybe one day I want to play them. But the thing is, I'll be able to play those on my Switch too.
Fable 3.
Can you turn it on its side? Can we see the spine? The other way. He's gonna. Yep, not that way. Like take it. Like do it. Yeah. Thank you. There. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's cool.
I totally remember being one of those kids as well. That was like, oh yeah, like there's this cool deal on this pre-owned game that you never see on the shelf anywhere. Ooh, Alex is a virtual boy. And trading in a bunch of stuff just to get that one thing because as a kid you don't have. Most kids don't have a source of income, and so you it's not like you could just like wait for that next paycheck to get that thing that you want either. You kind of, I don't know. And I mean, even just like learning the concept of money, it was also a thing. I think that we had to figure out when we were all kids.
Join
right?
us on Nintendo Life next week, where we're considering the concept of money.
Yes.
I
feel very similarly
That
to
should
this
be our
person.
next question.
I mean, you guys already covered that with gold points, right?
Oh, yeah, we did, didn't we? We've also got a response from Daniel Meisner. Apologies if I mispronounce any names in this, which is almost guaranteed to happen. There are far too many memories, feelings, and nostalgia connected to my OG Switch. My favorite memory was playing plugged into my car during a snowstorm since my apartment was without power. I could never sell it, and 65 upvotes. That's how you know it's a popular opinion. Yeah, it's the same sentiment again. There are a lot of memories. I've got a lot of memories for most of the Switches I own. I've got quite a few.
Yeah.
I remember going out and buying Switch Lite because I think I was like, oh, could I get this through work? And they were like, no, because I had a Switch. It's like, is it worth it? And it's like, well, I'm buying it anyway. So I drove off and got my Switch Lite. And those memories, admittedly, if I sold my Switch Lite, I would have those memories. Those memories don't disappear,
Sure.
but we are sentimental creatures.
It's so easy to just pick up an object and have memories flood back. At least for me too.
Smells. It's always smells.
Oh,
Smells is the big one.
That's not a revelation.
That's like a time.
I'm not the first person to say that.
No, but it's like traveling back in time. You can have a certain smell. It's like, wow, I remember exactly how I felt 10 years ago when I smelled that. It's really, really fascinating.
Sometimes taste as well. Not often, but smell. I think smell is arguably more complex.
Yes. Speaking of taste, I remember the first time I tasted a Switch cartridge. It was at the booth, the merch booth for my band.
Oh, they are.
We were just hanging out.
They
and
are
we
tasty.
I remember
finally
when I
did it.
first did it. Let me reenact the moment.
Felix,
So,
don't do it. No,
when I did
don't.
it,
Is
was
he
like,
really gonna do it?
Yeah.
Did he just?
Not that good. Actually, pretty horrible.
Could use some seasoning.
No, I remember when I did it, like back in. I must have been in 9th grade or something, and I was like, I might have brought one to school, and we
Don't
we
make
were like,
these
hey,
old
try it out.
phones feel any
it was like
older.
the new school trend. It probably wasn't, but it was like, hey, I've heard that this tastes really bad, and then people were like, no, what? Cartridges, and then
It's so funny that like Nintendo intended to like keep them out of people's mouths by doing
Everyone
that,
put them in their mouth.
and in practice it really just did the opposite, but probably kept people from
If
swallowing
you tell
them, hopefully.
people they can't do something, they'll do it. But as you say,
True.
I don't imagine anyone has swallowed a Switch cartridge that has that bittering agent on it, because it is unbearable.
Alex, don't sell your Switch, original Switch. Don't do it.
I'm not going to.
No, yeah.
I already sold mine
It's
actually
not.
as well.
You said if
I
you
forgot
tell
to mention
people to do something, they'll do the opposite.
It's been a long day.
Nice.
I was making a bad joke.
Moving on, some people have actually given responses that aren't saying they're going to keep it. You'll have to stay tuned for that. But for the time being, from Hundo or Hundo, we'll go with Hundo No. 100% keeping. I literally traveled the world with my Switch in my backpack. It kept me sane on long plane rides or uncomfortable train rides. Then, when the pandemic hit, I was working long hours at makeshift emergency centers. Sorry, I didn't read. I should have read these in advance. It would be with me to unwind after some really rough days at work. I hasten to point out Felix and Xeon. We all collated these, so that's why I haven't read them. I'm not a bad man. It felt like a part of my adventures as well as my comfort in some dark times. To get rid of it would feel like parting ways with my travel buddy or a friend who comforted me. Whilst I was never at a rooftop party playing 1-2 Switch, I was taking full advantage of that handheld option every chance I could. That's a lovely story, actually. I mean, I've done
It really is.
not traveling, but I've been away with my Switch, and it's lost some of its luster, but certainly to begin with, it felt like I'm playing a home console on a plane or a train. Those are the only two
Yeah, it
forms
really
of
speaks to the
transport.
power. Of course. You can't walk anywhere. Have any of you walked and played the Switch before at the
That
same
sounds
time?
mental. What if somebody were to walk into you holding a large piece of concrete and you'd scratch the back? Foolish.
Oh no, I dropped my Switch once. Yeah, actually, I broke my Joy-Con.
No.
I actually can't. Can I get a close up of this? I can't trade that in. Look at that. Look at that thing. Can you see that?
Yes, it's missing
cooked.
it's sort of a, well, not missing, but
It's got like a big scratch on the back here too, and it's like disc lodged from the
Oh no.
it's like that gap shouldn't be there.
I think I had a very similar experience to Handu Mao that I just did so much with my Switch. The reason I can't be sentimental to that Switch that I, traveled with and took to school is because I already sold it to a friend. At least there I know it's getting good use. It's like
Sure.
I know where it is in the world. If I ever want to see it, I can be like, hey man, can you send a picture of how it's doing now? And it's all beat up. No, that Switch was in so bad
17
condition.
pieces.
So maybe the reason I'm not as sentimental anymore is because I've already gotten rid of that thing I could be
Sure.
sentimental to. This Switch I have right now, sure, I've taken it with me, but it's just been at home because, I work from home. I don't go out that often. So yes,
I guess there is the interesting twist this time with the Switch as well, where the colored kind of elements of the console can be completely removed. So like, for example,
Yeah.
this is my OLED Switch. Or OLED, but I've taken the Animal Crossing Joy-Con off because I like them a lot more. And so my mom actually has my Animal Crossing Switch itself, and I've given her I think I gave her the pink and green Splatoon ones, but you kind of get to remove a bit of the personality, or you can transfer some of those memories to a new console. We don't know if we'll be able to use these on Switch 2 yet. Still, probably. Not in the same way, at least, but it's different than having a handheld, right? I long for my blue, aqua blue or cool blue, whatever the original 3DS was. I needed money and sold it just
that one.
as everyone often does, and I wish I still had that, but maybe it's because the console looked so cool and was so unique, and I hated it at the time. The battery life was bad. The form factor was crappy. But why do I want that again? What is wrong with me? I have a 3DS that I like.
Quickly Google the term rose-tinted spectacles and you'll get an idea.
That's fair.
the next comment actually is a lot why I couldn't set my.
It is.
get
Do you
rid
want to
of-
read this
yeah,
one,
it's
Felix?
Very relatable. Sure, it's by local author is.
Authorizer
Local.
of gaming LA3.
Oh my god, I can't read long words. -la.
Local authorizer of gaming LA 3010.
Yes, thank you for that, whoever has that username. I can't get rid of my original Switch because it's so beat up, Lemao. Yep,
Lamau.
I I think that will be probably
That's
thing for-
it's
at least with
it's a
mine,
fair
yeah.
comment. To be fair, I know a lot of people who have very damaged Switch consoles, and when I say a lot of people, I mean people who are selling their Switch consoles online, and they say great condition. I mean, all of my consoles are spotless, but that's because 1, I don't go anywhere. 2, I baby these things like nobody's business, and 3, I baby these things like nobody's business.
I mean, I think most people are pretty good about their consoles. Like me, like mine, my zipper in my bag was unzipped and it just fell out, and I was like, ah!
You'd be
and-
surprised to see pictures of people like in, I don't know, the Switch subreddit or like the PlayStation, and you'll see their
Yeah,
controllers.
like
and
my
it's like,
Switch isn't
what?
working, and it's like
Oh yeah.
the vents all cracked and broken, and the Joy-Con. I've seen so many people with like the Joy-Con is like, have I damaged my Switch with like the rails been ripped off? And it's like,
Oh my god.
maybe.
Also just covered in spaghetti for no reason.
Oh, we've got another one though. We've got a fair few of these to get through, so we'll go a little bit quicker this time. Jacob Wright U2N says, I'm going to pass my old one down to my daughter, and I hope it brings her lots of fun and happiness like it did for me. Something we've already touched on, but a great use for an old console. I hope to have a child at some point. They are not touching my Switch consoles. I will buy another
Really?
one for them. They're not
Wow.
touching my babies.
You don't want to give
I mean,
him dad's
he did say-
old
he did
Switch?
say he was taking care of it like a baby. So can't give a baby to a baby. I mean,
No,
that doesn't
no.
make sense.
You know, they cancel each other out, and suddenly you've got a
There's no baby.
broken Switch.
Yeah, what happened? What happened to my kid's gone, but what happened to my Switch?
I will say though, this is probably the most likely of what I'll also do. Maybe because I know my little brother has a Switch Lite. I'm sure he would love a Switch OLED, or like you make some kind of deal, or I don't know. But I mean, I don't want it to go to some random person and be like, oh
Yeah.
no, I don't like that.
It's
But,
nice to be able to give it as sort of like, give it to somebody who you know is going to really appreciate it.
Yeah, either that or someone that you really want to show like why Nintendo is so cool, because maybe they don't have the funds to it, or they just haven't really. I mean, it looks interesting, but no way I'm going to spend that much in the Switch. You can be, here, play Breath of the Wild. And then they get back to me and be like, I don't get it. No!
There is always that risk, yeah.
My grandpa gave me his original Nintendo. I mean, years. This was when I was an adult at this point, you know. But we used to play it all the time as a kid. And I'm not saying that you wouldn't like let your kids play with Switches at all, or like you said, you'd give them their own. But it feels really good for me to have his console now.
Oh, when they're
it's
adults,
just-
and I know that
yeah.
they can be trusted, and I've taken them through the proper cleaning regime.
You know,
know,
Alex's
absolutely.
kids are going to be good at cleaning their consoles.
That's awesome.
I'm still tempted to do a video about cleaning consoles and technology because a lot of people don't. And like, all of my technology, bar a few examples from when I was a child, are all in excellent condition because I take care of them. And guess what? My Joy-Con don't drift. No, we're not getting into that because some do. What we are going to get into is the next response from Clarks888. They say, wow, been scrolling for a while and haven't seen one person say they're going to get rid of theirs. This is something we did find when we were collating these. I'm going to
Yeah.
wait and see. My son and I both play, so it might be nice to have the OG for trips, but kind of depends on what the backwards compatibility is like on the Switch too, as well as cross-gen titles for the first year or so. Very good points. We don't know what it's going to be like, and so
Yeah.
I think, you know, sort of, we weren't certainly saying, have you already sold it? Are you know, have you decided already? We were just curious to ask as much as anything, because, yeah, we need a bit more information. You know what, Nintendo? We could do with some more information about the Switch too. Maybe then we'd have something to talk about.
Something I want to mention actually that this is kind of reminding me of is that we're about to enter the part of time where the Switch is going to be at its like lowest price probably ever on the secondhand market, because right once the Switch 2 comes out, there will be theoretically a lot of people trading them in. You know, on Nintendo Life here we have a lot of diehard collectors, fans, so it makes sense that a lot of our viewers would want to keep theirs, but there are going to be a lot of families and people that don't have money that want to trade it in. So I think one thing I would like to mention too is that if you are considering, if you're on the fence about keeping it or not, it will probably be more expensive to get it again later down the road, especially with the box and the manuals and the little plastic bags that the Joy-Con straps came in, all that stuff. If you ever have a thirst for that again, it probably will be just harder to get, because I'm experiencing that right now with my 3DS and with not my day one Switch. A little bit since I don't have it. I kind of want that original box again, but that's because I'm crazy. So
Yeah, with this person being like, had to scroll so far to see if anyone wanted to get rid of this. There's over 700 comments. And
Yeah,
like,
we
I
had a
feel like
load.
98% of them, it was just, I'm going to keep it. When I was reading that's like, oh my God, I'm in the minority here. And I know that.
oh, and that's totally, we need that. We need different.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
I think it's fun. And it's not like,
Differences are delicious.
yes.
If
as long
everything
as-
tasted the same, that would be boring.
Not if it tasted like root beer.
At least Mike and Weil said
Nikea
that they're
and
going to
Ivail, possibly.
Oh, is
or
that
Iwail.
yeah? Okay, thank you.
Apologies, not sure about the pronunciation. Traded in, need the money for the two. Very straightforward. I told you we'd have one. Yeah, it's, some people just need the money. They can't afford to have both. And so it makes perfect sense to trade it in, although I would recommend, ideally, if you can, sell it privately because you get a lot more money for it. Just to, build up some funds to buy the two. And I think that's a very, very sensible attitude. It's not one I'm going to do, but I can certainly appreciate it because money's tight all round these days. Makes
Oh,
sense to
I mean,
use your
to-
nose.
To add to that point, I know a lot of my friends that are simply not going to get a Switch 2 because they have a Switch. And a Switch 2 is probably not going to be cheap. So they're waiting it out either till it gets cheaper or till we actually see what on earth we can play. I mean, I know a lot of my friends, the big incentivizer to get a Switch was either Breath of the Wild or Animal Crossing. I mean, Mario Kart was also one, but it wasn't like, I felt like it was whenever my friends would try Breath of the Wild, that's when they would get it. Like, oh man, I have a friend that got a Switch after they tried Breath of the Wild on my Switch, which was really, really cool to see.
That's a really good point. Beyond Mario Kart, which maybe could even be coming to Switch 1 as well. We don't really know what's coming to Switch 2, so that will be an exciting thing to see, and it will probably change people's minds. And
There's a couple of, I think, relatively safe bets. Things like, I'd be surprised if Metroid Prime 4 didn't come to Switch 2 in sort of like simultaneous type thing. But again, we don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah.
Beautiful Gaming 3890s, that was a weird way to say those numbers. They say, I'm actually planning on buying my first Switch after the Switch 2 comes out. Second-hand prices will tumble. They already are, something we've already brought up. And with
Nice.
with a great back catalogue, it's the perfect time to buy. The Switch console will become the new Wii, cheap and plentiful. Very good point. Arguably there is, from a purely sort of like monetary and sort of like practical point of view, there is no better time to buy a Switch because it's cheap. The back catalogue is enormous, as has been said. I'm reiterating what the comments said, basically.
Oh, I
we'll
think
leave
it's
it at
brilliant. If you haven't gotten a Switch and you don't care that it has to be the newest of the new, I mean, the Switch has so many good games.
Oh God, yeah.
Personally, I would never be able to because it's like if there's something new, I'm going to be like, oh, shiny, I need that. But no, I think
we're in quite a particular space. Like,
oh yeah,
if you hadn't have had that mentality, you might not be sitting where you are.
But no, I can't wait for you to try it, all the games. As I've said before, please play Breath of the Wild. Even though Tears of the Kingdom is there, it'll also make you appreciate Tears of the Kingdom later down the road of how much they improve on. Don't play them back to back like I did though. So have a little break. But good luck.
I like how we also have Astro Sauce here as well that says they already sold theirs months ago in anticipation. I got plenty of PC games to catch up on in the meantime.
Sacrilege.
And honestly, getting rid of the Switch probably months ago was probably the best move to make because, yeah, I do agree that the price will probably plummet and there will just be an oversaturation of Switches on the market.
God, what I'm really hoping is that the price comes down really low and I'm able to buy every color of Switch Lite because I have a problem.
Ooh.
Except the special
was
editions.
just
I don't
thinking-
care about those for some reason.
I mean, the Switch Lights, they look great.
They
though.
do.
And the D-pad.
Okay,
Gosh,
They
okay.
feel good,
If-
like the buttons and everything.
If
Yeah.
not everyone, at the very least, I want the indigo one.
Ooh, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll be able to collect Joy-Con a bit easier as well. Because I still, like, I want to get the red and... Well, I've got the blue one still somewhere. Oh, no, I don't. I just have the yellow one. Goodness. But I want to get the red and blue set again. Because I don't have those because I sold
Oh,
them.
imagine how expensive, like, specific Joy-Con colors are going to be, like, on the secondhand market.
Particularly if there's like one like really sort of like
A rare one.
rare or just sort of desirable for some reason, or it turns out
Splatoon
that there
3.
was a short run of yellows that don't have Joy-Con drift or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
And people are like, I want to see the serial number. Which we can only imagine is
real.
what GamerChief7740 was thinking when they typed this. While I love my Switch, I doubt I'll be able to afford a Switch too soon. So either I save up for more time and keep my OG, or sell it to get the new system quicker and enjoy the new releases. It really depends on the games that come out with it.
I really stole your comment, actually. I didn't see that one. It was exactly what we talked about before. So, yeah,
Yeah.
good points.
Yeah, no, this is,
it
admittedly,
up,
we
almost.
tend to extrapolate and expand upon the comments we read. We're going to cover things more than once. It just happens.
I would say I didn't read that comment and just stole his points. I just want to make that perfectly clear. I didn't include that comment.
Ah, roast Felix. Yeah. Just kidding.
It's very sensible, though. At the end of the day, we don't know what games are coming. Suspect Mario Kart at some point. But we don't know what games are going to come out with the Switch 2. And at the end of the day, a console with no games is a fancy, bleepy paperweight.
Mario Kart's actually cancelled.
No one, then no Mario Kart for anyone, except maybe Ale Charvi 7353. I can get the numbers right, even if I mispronounce everything else. Keep it for my daughter. Another classic one. She's at the age where she can now challenge me at Mario Kart. Plus, I've just introduced her to the Zelda series. She's been playing Ocarina of Time. I've never said it like that. I just wanted to that time, which is also a big part of my childhood. Again, brilliant example, a lovely sort of instance of, passing that on, because the Switch is a fantastic console. Really, I was about to say really powerful for a handheld for its time. And I think it's sort of, particularly the Lite. Maybe I'll buy a secondhand Lite and give that to my child. They can have fun with it.
I was gonna say too, especially if you have a system that's in rough shape already, then giving it to a young kid might not be as risky of a venture.
I suppose it depends how young. At the same time, sort of once you reach a certain age, humans instinctively like to protect and not damage nice things. I don't know whether you've ever seen the Grand Budapest Hotel, but there's like a prison scene, and one of the ways they sneak things into the prison is through these like beautiful patisserie, because all the items before, the guards there cutting everything up to make sure there's no contraband, and then it comes to this beautiful cake and they look at it, pause, and then they just wrap it back up and send it on because they can't bring themselves to cut into it. It's genius. Just like Vapor Bake 94. Vapor Baked. I do apologize. I've sold off every Nintendo console I've ever had going back to the Wii DS in order to buy the new one. This time I'm not doing that. I bought the Tears of the Kingdom OLED, or the TOTKO LED, as Xeon would say. Switch, and plan on keeping it as a collectible. I might use it for modding and messing around.
Yeah.
If I had that console too, I would keep it. The box
You
itself
summoned
is beautiful.
Alex's Tears of the Kingdom Switch.
Oh, wow.
Yeah!
Look how shiny that is.
Oh my god.
It's
You can
us.
see the delay. Aha.
Oh gosh, that makes me. Mine is disgusting right now.
The back is less.
Hold on.
Oh, can I just about catch the light?
Let's all get our Switches. Yay.
Hold on. I've got embargoed games on mine, so I'm gonna keep mine off.
Do you guys have anything on the thumbsticks?
No, I'm
Nothing.
a good boy.
Just dirt.
I will
To
say.
be fair, actually, that is a sensible thing to do because you won't wear them down in the same way you just wear down
I
the-
did not have anyone, and I actually did damage some of the things, so that's why I have them home now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whoops.
Hide your shame. Just
yeah.
like Copat87 isn't. They're saying, keeping my Switch. My kids will use it for Mario Kart and Odyssey. Another classic example. Just hand-me-downs. It's a tale as old as time, the old console. My SNES is a hand-me-down from my
Nice.
cousin, who sold
Same.
it. Yeah, they sold it, or rather, my grandmother on that side bought it off them, so that there would be something for all the children, all the grandchildren to play when they went to hers. Turns out, me and my brother were the only nerds interested in it, because she bought it because they were upgrading to a PlayStation, and I've still got it.
Is that the Lilac Wars Star Fox bundle one too? I feel like you sent a picture or something.
Lilac Wars came out on the N64, bub.
Oh,
Starwing, baby.
Okay. Starwing. Okay.
Yeah. Great. I'm just here. I'm just having a great time.
I just brain farted really hard there.
Surprised actually to see so many different takes. When I was looking through the comments, at least the top ones was all like very similar, because that's what people upvote. If there's like 90% of people think the same, of course they're going to upvote those types of comments. But if you go down and look at like newest and stuff, it's really cool that there's so many different perspectives. And one more perspective we have is from Xerox Park.
I think that is Xerox Park, yes.
Yeah. I'll keep it. It was a gift from my brother. I've carried it with me across the country when I was kind of lost in life. It has a lot of sentimental value to me.
I think that's very nice.
It's really sweet.
Yeah.
I think that's something that handhelds definitely have over home consoles. Because home consoles, there's still bags of sentiment behind them, of course, but certainly when you've got something that you can just pick up and take with you, it's like, but this is mine. This is mine. Stay away. This is mine.
Yeah, you're right. And your console just like it, you're right. It sits with you in your life. Sure, it sees everything that happens in your home, but you're right. Your handheld console, like it'll go with you on vacations. It could be with you in a car in a snowstorm. It could accompany you during a hard moment. You know, if you're spending a lot of time in a hospital or something, you know, waiting for family or whatever situation. You're right.
You get to play it in so many different like locations where the home console, unless you move, of course, or take it with you, you mainly just play it in one location. So a lot of memories will kind of flood together. But like now I can remember when I played it at this school, and then I changed school and played it there, and then I, went to the States and I played it on my way there, and then I went and visited Sion, and then I played Ace Attorney Investigations on it.
That's right, yeah.
I think it's funny, like me talking about I'm not gonna like not being very sentimental, and then I have my original DS from when I was 4 years old. And I will never get rid of this. Like this is my baby, which I did not draw in it. This was my brother. I think it's cute though. I don't mind it. Just
sentiment and nostalgia definitely grows over time, doesn't it? You know, the longer you've had something, you feel like you're invested, you feel like you've got a high score and you're not ready to quit just yet.
So maybe that's the lesson. I need to keep it, because otherwise I'm gonna regret it.
I mean, handhelds over consoles, right? Handhelds just can always be there for you, no matter where you are, as long as it has battery life, as long as you can charge it up or pop some AA's in it or AAA's like that. It can be there with you for any moment.
This is my original Game Boy Pocket.
Is it really? Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's either this one or this one. And one of them has a slight defect, although I've probably fixed it.
Do you remember which one's which, too?
Well, one was mine, one was my brother's. So.
Okay. So
they're both of the same era, and they both have sentimental value.
That's so cool.
But one of them, I accidentally spilled cough medicine into the D-pad at one point.
Oh no!
Did you? Like when you were a kid?
We'll say yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like 9 or something like that. Yeah.
Well, that wasn't me checking to see if you were like 22 or something. You know, I just was like, oh, is this tied to?
I would never.
Like, you were
cough
sick and
medicine
you.
On my consoles.
Well, the thing is that I'd never done anything like that before, and I felt like such a fool afterwards. And thankfully, it sort of hardened and crystallized after a while, so it just sort of snapped and started working again. Subsequently, I have opened it up and cleaned it properly, so it's all gravy now.
Don't expect anything less of Alex.
But anyway, there you go. That's what you lovely lot had to say about selling, or indeed not selling, your Switch 1 in the light of the Switch 2. Thank you everyone who submitted comments, and a special thank you to everyone we featured. We're probably going to do this again if this goes well, so make sure you keep an eye out for community posts in the future. But for now, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you grab hold of that subscribe button? Don't sell it. It's an original. You'll miss it. And be sure to check out Nintendo Live nintendolive.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye bye.